joining us for Brandon Sanderfans with Ben and Sam. I'm Ben, one of your hosts, with my best friend, Sam.
I'm also one of your hosts, as Ben said, because he's a genius. He says words and I believe him.
Yeah, that's right. Sam, we're discussing Mistborn, right? And these chapters, some cool stuff happens. Something really sad happens. I think on this podcast, the number one thing that we've been consistent at doing is saying goodbye.
Yeah.
And in these chapters, we have no more balls. All the balls have gone. That's it, Sam.
Yeah, that was
We're ballsed out.
Yep, they enjoyed him. They treated him well. Everyone loved him.
I feel like every single person held a ball at some point during the book, but now they're all done with balls.
Oh, at least every single person, especially amongst the nobility, that you can't avoid it. You cannot avoid it. It is inevitable. But
I think one of the best things about these balls, and of course we're talking about dances, the best part about these dances is how much Vin came to love them. And I think, she feels like something's missing with them gone. So to say goodbye, let's listen together to Donna Summers sing Last Dance. Sam, if you will.
Hey everybody. Legally, we cannot play more than 5 seconds of anything that isn't ours. So I hope you enjoyed the 5 seconds of the beautiful Donna Summer singing The Last Dance.
Yeah, according to legal laws. But, if I'm performing it, it's transformative. So if you don't mind, Sam, I'd love to perform what Donna could not to us. Is that right?
Absolutely. And hold on, let me check my legal law for podcasts.
Yeah, pull up your law book, your legal law blog book.
It says
the blah blah blog.
It says if you own it and make it your own, it's all good in the hood. I added that last part, but you get it. You get it.
I want to emphasize that I don't know if I've heard this song all the way through, but I'm also probably not going to sing it all the way through. So let's get this started. You heard Miss Donna Summer's beautiful voice. She went, ooh.
Yes.
She would have said after that, or sang after that, last dance, last chance for love. Yes, it's my last chance for romance. Tonight, I need you by me, beside me, to guide me, to hold me, to scold me. 'Cause when I'm bad, I'm so bad. So let's dance the last dance. Let's dance the last chance tonight. That's pretty much how it sounds, according to the half of you. Thank you, Sam. That's very, very kind.
That was the audience.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to you, Steve. I know you're out in the audience. You're always here every week. Thanks.
Brother,
Good clapping. Steve. You're doing much better, buddy. We give him clapping lessons every once in a while. He was doing it like he was hitting his face for a while. He was opening his mouth a lot, thinking that the mouth sounds would be clapping. That's not. I didn't mean to put you on the blast, Steve. I'm sorry.
No, and then if we're bringing up Steve as much as we are, he did this Nicole Kidman thing for a bit that was not good. Nicole Kidman, the Oscars, who anybody saw it.
Nicole Kidman, I've invited her many times to our seminar, even gave her a coupon for half off, but she will just not show up. I don't know if it's because, we're in America, she's in Australia. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I know. Australia's not exactly...
I can't just make Australia America. I can't do that.
Well, we're not going to get into that. This podcast isn't about the possibility of re-Pangea-ing. We're not going to do that. Or will we? We're not.
Sam, Steve, thank you for the clapping. I just want to thank you once more.
Thank you, Steve.
Sam, I feel bad that, neither you or I got to participate in any of the dancing. I was wondering if you'd like to dance with me.
Oh,
Do you want to dance?
I mean, I'm not in any, not in any place to be dancing. I would love to.
Okay. So you, no, am I gonna be the guy or are you gonna be the guy? Like, I'm getting confused with the way you're putting your hands.
Hold on. Let me
In
just.
fact, everywhere you're. Oh, now they're just on my face cheeks.
Yep.
Is that how you think dancing goes?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I know that it's a matter of touching the other person as much as possible while keeping it clean. And where is, like one of the sexiest places to touch? The face.
The face cheeks, right?
The face
Right,
cheeks,
the
absolutely.
face cheeks.
So
Okay.
let me just.
Well, let me
get,
just get a handful of cheeks myself. And go ahead, DJ, play that song if you don't mind.
Oh, hold on. He's doing that thing where they spin the vinyl between their hands for a second and they place it
Oh
down
yeah,
slowly.
spinning that vinyl. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I love it when it takes longer to get between me and the song. I love that.
Oh, there he goes. He looks like he pressed it.
If you're lost, you can look and you will find me.
This is great. I like this.
Well, that was 5 seconds. The DJ really knows
that-
his laws. He's really good at his job.
He knows he's perusing that legal law blog book, the blah 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 blog. Just back and forth. I feel like he's actually the one that introduced it to us, so it's apropos that he would help us with that as well.
Oh,
Sam,
absolutely.
I feel like even in that 5 seconds, it was quality time. Maybe not quantity, but quality.
No, but and that quality, it makes me, I'm full on dances. I could go for just a couple months without any dancing. You know what I mean? Which is what, what's going to happen.
The interesting thing is we have now, Sam, you and I actually have now danced in a more real way and for a longer period of time than Vin has danced with Ellen at this point of the story.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm sad now. Hey, everyone. This is Brandon's sad fans. We're sad about everything.
Sadder fans. Just where we get real sadder about all the fanders. The thing is, I really like these chapters. We
Yeah.
kind of start out into a chapter where we're in the we're in a ball already. We get to meet Kliss, which she's kind of a dopesy girl. Kind of the typical like vapid noblewoman type.
Gossipy. Always wants that sweet
Gossipy.
gossip.
That sweet gossip. She spreads it around like so much peanut butter on so many sandwiches. She just wants it everywhere.
And everyone wants it
and
too. Who doesn't love peanut butter sandwiches? Am I right?
I think the main thrust of this chapter, unless there's something you want to talk about, Sam, is where Vin actually gets to talk to Ellen. So it's almost like last time they spoke, I believe, he gave her the handkerchief, so they started their courtship, or at
Yeah.
least he initiated an official courtship with her.
Yeah.
So this is where they actually get to talk and even smooch. Get that smooch.
Some smooches, because he's like, he does what a classic beginner's mistake. He's like, I think I'm going to kiss you now. When that never works. Who's going to say,
Yeah.
really romantic moment. Ben, you and I, romantic moment right now, okay? We're at a ball. We just finished dancing to Cyndi Lauper's beautiful 5-second rendition of Time After Time. And then you look at me and you're like, I think I want to put my mouth on your mouth. But in a romantic way. I've already left.
Uh-huh.
Before you finish that sentence, I am gone. You don't just tell somebody you're going to smooch him. You just smooch him.
The interesting thing is you're gone, in spirit, because your spirit has abandoned your body because of how awkward that moment gets. Your spirit has run away, but your body has just turned into mint jello, like right there on the floor. And
The worst type
and
of
I'm
Jell-O.
standing over you, and
Ugh.
I'm like, you know what? They're not saying no, and they do smell very minty.
Oh no.
I think
no.
the thing is, like, I don't want to put a damper on how important consent is, because it's very important.
It's the
But
most important.
I have literally been told by every single female that I've ever known, never ask if you can kiss them or that you think you're going to kiss them. I mean, if you're going to kiss them, they have all the opportunities to get away from the kiss as well. So I mean,
Yeah, you got to read the vibes. There are vibes.
it's
Everyone's putting them off.
it's like in Hitch. It's 80-20. You go 80, they go 20. That's the consent agreement. It doesn't have to be a verbal contract precisely before something happens. I mean, getting kissed by someone you don't want to get kissed by is not the end of the world. While it can be incredibly awkward at the time.
Yeah.
But I feel like that level of consent just takes place in your bit of commitment meeting with them.
And
Yeah. It doesn't bug me that much because Ellen, who has he kissed before? Literally only a woman who was paid to kiss him, probably. So
deep cut.
yeah, bad stuff. Deep cut. He's not proud of those facts.
Well, there.
So I don't know if he's kissed anyone else in Noble Society because Noble Society, you don't really have girlfriends. You're betrothed, and then you get married, right?
Yeah.
So if he had kissed someone before, if he had kissed someone before, I don't know, Strathventure maybe would have murdered them if he thought that they were a threat because Strath is kind of a crazy boy.
Well, I was going to say, we learn a lot about Strathventure just in a couple pages, that murdering someone for that small of a reason would not be beneath him. That's
No,
just,
it would not.
He'd murder, they call him Fancy Murder Boy, because that's his nickname in the old Luthadel? Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and I do bring up the kiss thing just because it made, okay, Brandon Sanderson's very good at writing romance in a way that does not make the reader feel uncomfortable. And of course, romance does not make me uncomfortable. Even PDA doesn't make me uncomfortable. But sometimes in books, it's just like they're laying it on too thick. And it's like, okay, we get it. They like each other. They're giving each other the eyes. But with Ellen and Vin, it's something, and it's probably because of the society in which they live. But it's right. Something. Each little thing is just so simple. Like in a sentence, he'll say, Vin answered his question and took her arm from his arm and then held his hand, or he drew her closer, or she put his arm through his arm. Little things like that, and that's like the perfect amount of romance. And then he's like, "I'm a smooch you on the lips." I was like, okay, it's perfect because of how simple everything has been and how he's probably not very well versed in the love languages, maybe. But
yeah, his love language is probably like girl that's not dumb, not dumb girl. He does have a type. They do mention like black short hair is his like exact type, which I'm like, all right, Brandon, I guess.
Hey,
I mean,
Ellen.
that's not exactly
Ellen.
not exactly how love works, but okay.
Hey, Ellen, it's your good friend Jasties. What's up, playa? If you could have a type, how would you describe him? Like, what's your type? You know what I'm saying? What's your type?
Can I share something? And I will edit this out of the podcast if it makes you too uncomfortable, Sam. But I remember in middle school when you told me that your type was tall, redheaded girls, and that's literally your mom. I want to emphasize that Sam did not marry a tall, red-headed girl. He married a tall, black-haired girl. well, black at the time. God. She dyes her hair all the time. She's a natural brunette, I believe.
You know what? I totally forgot that I said that. I completely, totally forgot I said that. Let's air out some dirty laundry. All right, so for some reason I was into redheads. Never dated one, ever. And to tell you the truth, there was never a redhead that I was actually attracted to. I mean, there was that one, but like we went on one date, and she was like, "Hey, we should go out more dates," and I was like, "Nah," and that was it. I didn't have any more interactions with her. I forgot I said that. That's funny. That is very funny.
I think that it's one of those things where you're like, you know what? I'm not just gonna like a normal girl. It's gotta be this girl that, not every guy's gonna want. But, like, literally, like, you're attracted to, like, pretty much every single girl you meet. And you're like, well, this one didn't meet with some arbitrary standards that I set when I was talking to friends, so maybe not that. And then you grow up, and you realize, like, affection is a lot better if it's between you and a person you just like a lot.
And not by some preset standard, preset insane and ridiculous standard that should not be followed through with. Oh boy. Oh man.
I mean, if you asked me when I was watching lots of Dragon Ball Z, I probably would have said, like, oh, just a girl with, like, some short blue hair that rides on an air bicycle.
Just a girl with, she's got a brother. They look alike, but she's a robot, and I love her.
And in this fantasy, I am like a short, like a short boy with 6 dots on my head, and I'm bald, and I used to be a monk.
And I'm always dead. I'm not even sure I'm alive anymore.
And maybe I can conjure Destructo discs whenever I need them. I don't know. I haven't thought too much about it.
Oh man.
Going back to what's going on with Ellen and Vin, Ellen tells Vin, or he smooches him.
Wait. Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
This is specifically to your wife and to Michael. Don't
Okay.
at me. Don't tweet me about what Ben just said. I said when I was a teenager. I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to hear it. I get it. It's weird, but it's done.
Make burner accounts. They're going to make burner accounts that are going to say, like, oh, I just listened to my first episode of Brandon Sanderfans. What the F is wrong with you, Sam?
Okay, let's just moving on. Don't do it. But yeah, there was some smooches, and then
there's some smooches, and then some secrets. They shared some secrets.
We found about House Venture's ATM mining.
Yeah, that House Venture has the contract from the Lord Ruler to mine all the ATM. And I was reading the annotations for these chapters, and Ellen refers to an incident, quote-unquote, that happened a couple years back. Yeah, that incident was Kelsier snapping and then killing everyone. And let me just read word for word what Brandon put in here. Okay, so this... word for word, this is what Brandon wrote about the incident. It says, by the way, that something a few years ago that Ellen mentions happened to disturb the ATM production was Kelsier, the survivor of Hath Sin, snapping and coming to an awakening of his powers, then busting out of his hut and slaughtering every soldier and nobleman within 10 miles of the pits.
Wow.
And the thing is, the only thing that makes sense to me is ATM, right? So, like, he just snapped. He knows what ATM does, because he was around Allomancers all the time, so I imagine he was curious about all this stuff. And definitely his brother, who was an Allomancer and was, like, super into studying the obligators and everything.
Yeah.
They definitely knew what ATM did. Okay. So, he snaps. He decides to tentatively, maybe bust out of there. I don't know if you snap, if you know you snap. Let's say he didn't, and then he decides, I can't stay here anymore, decides to bust out of there. Maybe kills one guard and gets to access some ATM. So he has some ATM cereals, washes it down with maybe some wine or whatever's around.
Some blood.
And then he is just literal, like he doesn't have any other, because I can't imagine they would have any other, like, allomancy around because of the nature of the pits that we learn in a little bit. So not allomancers, just soldiers and noblemen overseeing everyone else. And so there are no metals around, just all this ATM. So he's just going through and just, like, destroying everyone, seeing exactly what they're going to do before they do it, and just destroying them with swords, daggers, spears, whatever he can get his hands on. And he keeps on doing that for 10 miles. 10 miles, Sam! I don't walk 10 miles in a week, I don't think. 10 miles is a far... That's from me to the airport. That's 10 miles. That's crazy. I can't even imagine killing all the people within a mile of something.
Okay, well, this is what makes me wonder. Is it a 10-mile radius? Or is it
He doesn't say. He says he does say within 10 miles, so that does say a radius. But I can't imagine like Kelsier doing a circular pattern all the way around, and just killing and killing, and just like making like he's like the freaking White Walkers. He's just making spirals of death everywhere.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
he gets to the edge of the circle and he's like, all right, there's 10 miles. Let's go left. And then just like a compass or like a clock. Just a clock of death. Well, and that's... Let's say he does realize he snaps. Do you think that there had to have been some guards or someone that he had to have overcome, taken their medals, and then just been like, nom nom nom. And then as he just kept going on, just fistfuls of metals, ATM and pewter and steel and iron and all this stuff, just guzzling it down. He had to have been just in, without being crude, he had to have been in the loo for days afterwards. All that metal.
Well, the thing is, the metal burns, so it is used up in your body.
Right.
So in a physical sense, you're not using the power, and then you just have like this lifeless metal hunk that you have to pass through your body.
No, I get that, but 10 miles worth of different people's metals, and not necessarily burning all of them, just forgetting about them because out of this blind rage he just passes out, and then his stomach's like, I guess I have to eat this now. And then, hey guys, this is a really mature and adult podcast. We're really glad that we can talk about balls and allomantic bowel movements.
Ball stances, of course. And so I thought that was interesting. Just one line. Oh, an incident a couple years back. Yeah, an incident that killed every single person that was there, except for probably the slaves, the other prisoners. Okay, so after Ellen has this conversation with Vin, he goes to meet with his friends. We get our first Ellen point of view. So if you were on the fence at all about Ellen, like about maybe his motivations, because he could have been playing Vin this entire time.
Oh, absolutely.
Which definitely could have been an option. We kind of learned that he's not that kind of person pretty quickly. He has real feelings for Vin, and he's really excited about being with her.
Of course, his friends don't. They roll their eyes. They're like, well,
they don't buy it. Yeah.
She's obviously playing you. And he's like, no, she's real. And they're like, okay, whatever. Hey, guys, my baby came to join us again, and he's talkative today, so. Hi. Do you want to go play? Anywho, there was something. I really got to start taking notes.
One of his friends actually paid a spy to follow Vin, to follow her carriage.
Oh man!
And they figured out that she actually didn't return back to Felice. They do a couple different things. Like sometimes she'll return, sometimes she'll dip out, and the carriage will return without her, so that she can stay in Luthadel. So they figured that out basically, kind of putting a damper for Ellen, not sure about her position and her feelings and why she's trying to get closer to him, if it's really for him, if it's really for something else. So that ends that chapter, and was there something else you wanted to address, Sam?
I think it was the fact that both Ellen and Vin have real feelings for each other, but the entire time that Vin has known him, she's been conflicted because she's like, no, he's just playing me like he plays all these other women. And then we see that Ellen actually does care for her. And then he's bombarded with, no, she's just playing you. So it's two people who, because of outside influences, believe, or at least fear, that the other is trying to play them or get something from them. And then, unfortunately, as we see in the next chapter, at the final ball, they essentially they both now believe, or at least they both have succumbed to their beliefs that that's what was happening. Until we find out that Ellen is going to be straight murdered, just dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, we did skip. Vin finishes the logbook and talks to Sazed about it.
Yeah.
And she tries to burn one of Sazed's earrings. Yum yum yum, tasty.
Don't work.
Only one other thing that I actually want to address in this chapter is Kelsier sees Vin, and he wishes that Mare was there so that they could be father and mother for Vin. That she would have loved to teach her how to be a proper noblewoman more than Kelsier or Sazed could do. And that she was great at it, but Kelsier and Kelsey's like, I really could use her on this job. And then he thinks to himself, wait, if she was here, there's no way I would risk doing this job ever.
Yeah.
So it kind of calls into question how much Kelsey really cares about the team and Vin in comparison to how much he cared about Mare, and that maybe it's in retrospect, like he knows what happened to Mare, and that she died because of the life that they lived, and so if she was still there, he would never have gone back to crime. If they had been able to, somehow escape the pits of Hassan together, he would have stayed out of crime altogether just to keep them both safe. But because she's dead, he has no sense of self-preservation for himself. There's no reason for him to continue to exist, and he's going to lead the crew just like he always did. And if they get hurt or whatever, at least it's not Mare, because the worst has already happened to him.
I think that it shows, Ben and I have, I know, I'm talking about it, please. Ben and I have never experienced the heartbreak of, especially in this, and this is such a wild, not a wild comparison, or not comparison, but a wild thing to say, that we've never we're married, we've never experienced our spouse betraying us to a god, and then throwing us into a prison, and then basically taking the beating and dying for us. But I feel like for Kelsier to still have this sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I want to say words. Kelsier has this happen to him. He knows that she betrayed him, and then she dies for him, and so his heart is broken for two reasons. But then he has such a lovely thought, like the thought about you always, Mare, you always wanted a daughter you could teach to walk the line between noblewoman and thief. It's not a thought of, there's no malice. It's just a thought of like, man, if things were normal, if things were, if you were still here, there's no hint of, anger. There's no hint of.
I think I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah.
It's almost like, and neither samurai have lost a spouse. We haven't lost children. But I think, imagine when you lose an animal, when you lose a pet that's really close to you, it's almost like sometimes you feel like calling for them so they can still come and, get scratches from you or come lay with you in bed. And then you catch yourself and you remember that they're not actually there anymore. The thing is, you don't remember any of the bad moments. You don't remember, at least for Kelsier, he doesn't even remember the betrayal, which is still on his mind, that she betrayed him. He still reflexively wants to reach out to her like she's another part of his mind, of himself.
Yes.
And so I think this is natural, and I think what's a little concerning about it is he doesn't even come close to stopping himself. That may exacerbate some of his mental problems. That he doesn't really confront her betrayal or her death very often, and so it almost makes him feel like everything's just as it was before, even though he's deeply broken inside.
Yeah. That's, yep.
So, but anyway, going on to the last dance, the actual last dance. Vin shows up. No one will talk to her because everyone is kind of clamming up. They know that the house war is coming, and it's going to be a bloody one.
Oh, it's gonna be a biggin. One to rock the Casbah.
Well, and so we meet Kliss again, and we figure out that Kliss isn't a vapid noblewoman girl. She's cunning, and she does lots of spycraft within the noblemen. And she just kind of hides behind a facade of being, empty-headed.
Yeah, she's an informant who charges big bucks just for information that could lead to anybody's demise that's, profitable to her. And this is where Vin makes herself known as an allomancer to Kliss, just so that she could save Ellen, who we find out is going to be murdered. Assassinated, if you will.
That Venture actually wants to get rid of Ellen, and so he's working with with House Ariel, to go ahead and remove Elend altogether. So Elend is having a secret meeting. He's basically broken up with Vin, said I never want to see you again because I know that you're fake.
Oh,
You're fake, fake, fake.
That's so sad.
And Vin has this moment. She's like, do I really want to save him when he just rejected me? And she decides, yes, that she has to save him because she loves him. So she zooms out of the window and up onto the roof, and she finds a group of Allomancers there, like an entire strike team. And among them is a Mistborn named Shan Ariel.
The worst. The worst. I don't like her. Shan, she's like, I think we talked about this. She's Regina George from Mean Girls. Imagine if Regina George was a Mistborn.
Yeah, imagine if Regina George was like Iron Man and Spider-Man in one, which is pretty much what being a Mistborn is like. So yeah, they have this whole fight, and oh, this fight scene's so choice, so good, and so fun too. I love the part where she goes down to the parapet and she was pulling on this soldier, and this soldier's being like pulled up into the air, and she's like, "I'm sorry," and she kicks him up into the air and just crashes with his other coin shot.
I love it.
I really, really love
We've
that.
talked about how Brandon Sanderson's very good at writing and staging fight scenes, and just how
Oh yeah.
how aware he is of the environment. Of course, he wrote it, so he knows where everything is. But how where he is of the environment and what's useful. And hey, a human is useful. It was perfect.
Yeah, they like, well, this human is wearing metal, like he's wearing armor. He's a good anchor, so why wouldn't they use him? I think that's great. I love Vin going up against all these different Allomancers and coming out on top just because she's using her brain and trying to be more wily, and she is a bit more powerful as well. Especially when she goes up against Shan, she knows that Shan probably has a lot more ATM than Vin does.
Oh yeah.
And she gets clever with it. I just love this chapter. It's one of my favorite fight scenes. I think my favorite fight scene in this book.
Oh,
Although maybe I'll change my mind.
I absolutely agree. It is the most satisfying thing to read with my eyes that Shan was just stabbed right in the chest. It was just like it was a breath of fresh air. Like all this anger and tension. It was like getting a massage. All this anger and tension was just gone. And then I drank a gallon of water, and I was so good to go. It was awesome.
And the thing is, it didn't happen just once. It happened twice.
That's right. Yeah. Which is, it's like two massages. It's like 2 massages for the price of one Mistborn book. Which on Kindle is at a steal of a price.
It sure is. It sure is. I bought the trilogy. Just because I like to finish a story. I'm not a quitter. So, Sam, I think this week, I think it's time that we dip back into IMD Brandon. So this is where we pull up a random movie, and we find out who made that movie, and we kind of shame them for not having made a Brandon Sanderson movie yet.
All right,
I don't want to put an emphasis on the shame. I want to put emphasis on, hey, if this filmmaker made a movie, it would be, like this. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a random movie here. Let me see. Okay. The movie is Jack Reacher, Never Go Back.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Who directed that one?
Tom Cruise. Whoever Tom Cruise paid to direct this film. Tom Cruise pretty much he produces all the stuff that he's in, so he pretty much has the full control over whatever he wants to do. So Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Tom Cruise. The director is Edward Zwick. Let me see what else he's done.
Oh, he's done several movies that I like.
Last Samurai, Blood Diamond.
He did Defiance, Glory.
I'm gonna open this up. Edward Zwick. So Tom Cruise, you've read all the Brandon Sanderson books. You want to make a Brandon Sanderson movie, so you're gonna call out Thomas Zwick. But Tom Cruise, what role is Tom Cruise gonna play in a Brandon Sanderson book to movie?
Okay, so right off the bat, he's going to say, throw Kelsier at me. I could do it. Throw Kelsier at me. And Mr. Zwick is going to be, listen, Tom, you are 5'0". I cannot
Listen,
let
Tom,
you...
Booby, I love ya.
Bubula. You're sweet. You've got the chops. You're very short. But in reality, I think that he could play. I haven't read that.
He's definitely the right age for Kelsier. Like he's in the
Yeah.
perfect age for it.
Yeah.
And in like I imagine Kelsier like 40 something. I think Tom Cruise is pushing 50. I think. But he could definitely play it like this is the man, like he's on his last mission. He could definitely be the likable, charismatic side of Kelsier too, where he's just smiling at everyone, and no one mentions that there's a tooth in the middle of his head. Everyone thinks everything's fine. And he could definitely play that. I actually think he'd be a really great Kelsier.
No,
now that I'm thinking about it.
I know, but it would be a matter of there'd be so many camera tricks and high-heeled boots that he'd have to wear that everyone would just know. Everyone would know. They'd be like, "Wow, that was a good movie." But Tom Cruise, he's not that tall.
Now, see, the Ska are shorter than the noblemen generally. So I would say Kelsier is probably like 5'10". Like he's not like 6'8". He's not 6'4".
Right.
He's
No, I
probably
agree.
like 5'10".
I agree.
He's tall compared to the rest of the Ska. So all you need is the Ska to be very short, which he can do. Vin is going to be short. Just get someone that's Breeze, that's shorter, can look shorter than him. The problem is, we have someone like Sazed, who is literally taller than like everyone in the Final Empire, except for maybe the Lord Ruler, who's very tall as well. Is Tom Cruise gonna allow Sazed to be taller than him? Is it gonna be like this weird thing where Sazed, like when Sazed meets the Ska, he's like twice the size of the Ska.
Yeah.
Because we have a very tall Sazed. And then when Sazed meets Kelsier, they're like the same height.
So this is okay. So this is a
And the thing is like Kelsier's waist starts at like Kelsier's like waist, where his belt goes, starts at like Sazed's top ab, because he's just like clearly on a box underneath the screen where you can't see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in this reality where Tom Cruise produces, stars in, he has the director. If we're going with Mr. Zwick,
Yeah.
what kind of feel do you think it would be? I think it would be kind of a Jack Reacher, little dark, but got some humor in it.
I think be like the thing is, Tom Cruise, he needs to have a scene where he's running like a lot, and Kelsier runs. He would like between jumping, doing steel pushes and stuff, he'll run across rooftops. So I think we need to have chase scenes. That could be a training scene with Vin. That could be him actually running away from the obligator at the very beginning of the movie. Like that could be the opener of the movie. Or if we do open the movie with him destroying the plantation that he was first on, then we would want to actually show that, like see him running around and like taking everyone out and being just like a second faster than everyone, because he's burning ATM at the time. So I think it could work. Actually, the physicality of Tom Cruise is kind of perfect for that, I think.
I know, and I do agree. That's the thing. I do agree, because Tom Cruise, as much as I don't care for him as a person, he's a good actor. I think his films are enjoyable. I think he does a very good job. Except Jerry Maguire. I hate Jerry Maguire. Anyway, but also you look at Edward Zwick. What's his first name? Mr. Zwick's track record.
Edward, yeah.
And it's impressive. He in Defiance had a lot of good drama, but it had some very appropriate and well shot action sequences. And so I think that the duo could actually bring a certain level of mastery to a Mistborn movie, or even to, I don't know, maybe to another Brandon Sanderson book or two.
I want to bring you to a different one. Last Samurai. So Last Samurai, fish out of water story. We follow Tom Cruise as he's learning the culture and the differences of this new land that he's in, and then also learns to accept and become one of them. So that's kind of Vin's story. She's learning about the She's learning about the nobleman's culture and how to integrate with them. She's also learning how to become a Mistborn. So she would, I think, Tom Cruise is there to be, I would say, to be not the protagonist, but kind of the inciting incidents for a lot of the things with Vin. Um, while Vin is our real protag. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Vin's the one that we're kind of emotionally responding to and reacting with. Of course, we will have solo scenes with Kelsier, and Kelsier will be doing his own thing sometimes, and we'll be able to see that. But I think Kelsier being more of like a Han Solo character to Vin's Luke, I think would be effective.
Okay.
Or maybe
No.
less than that, more like Princess Leia, where we're seeing what Kelsier is doing every once in a while, separate from Luke, but Luke is still the driving force of the
Yeah.
movie.
No, I actually agree. Man, this isn't very funny. This is just like good point.
This is a good point. It's like I usually don't like to do fan casting. This one actually really fits in well with how it is. I think as we go along with watching or reading other Brandon Sanderson books, we'll be able to discuss putting those to film. I'm a little reluctant to say like how Tom Cruise would fit into the Stormlight Archive because we haven't read those books. There may be people that are listening to this that haven't read those books. I don't want to alienate them or spoil anything for them as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
So
That would be a winning combo.
yeah, absolutely. I think Mistborn, the way you would make it a good movie is when you're making Mistborn, the first movie, just imagine putting all of your effort into making that one movie. Don't try too hard with the sequels, because there are sequels to this book, but I feel like Mistborn is such a good story all contained with itself that if you focus on bringing that around and not for pushing like character motivations and relationships off it to a sequel, then you'll have a much stronger film altogether. But
Yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah, and Mr. Zwick has done 3 films in which they depict, based on true story, based on real events, and so he does have a firm. I think he has a very strong grasp on drama and on realistic drama, which you can find in this wonderful book. So, Mr. Zwick, if you find it, or if Mr. Cruz brings it up to you, just make a Mistborn movie. Jump on it.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Jump on it. Just do it.
I know you
Write it.
You got
My
I'm sure you
pony.
got like eight movies going right now, or at least you're waiting for that next call. But just do the Mistborn one. That's the best idea.
Just do the Mistborn one. You read the book and you're like, oh, there's the action scene. He already did it for me. I bet there's a million fan artists all over. You wouldn't even have to make screen, those screen grabs where you frame everything. Just grab a bunch of deviant art, throw it up on the wall, sell it to the studio. Step 3 paycheck. There you go.
Ben, you're
Yes.
you're Edward Zwick. I am
Okay.
Executive movie producer Tom Cruise with my good friend Dom DeLuise. Tell me, what is the elevator pitch? You got a bunch of deviant art up on the wall. Tell me what the elevator pitch for Mistborn is.
Thank you for having me here. I am Mr. Zwick, as you know. In this picture, you can see young girl. She wears coat with lots of tassel. It is very beautiful, very avant-garde. Lady Gaga, maybe. Who knows? And she flies through the skies with just metal. How does she do this? Well, she eat the metal. She burn the metal. She love the metal. She fly on the metal. Zwick is German, right? Mr. Zwick.
Yes, I'm gonna say very yes. Hello, I'm Tom Cruise. You're Mr. Edward German Zwick. I love this. Is there a part for me? Is it the main part?
I know what you're thinking. I know what you are thinking, Tom Cruise. You are thinking, oh, Mr. Zwick, I love this. Oh, yes, I love it so. Is there a part for me? That is what you are thinking, is it not?
Yep, those are the words that I'm thinking, and that also came out of my mouth.
Wonderful. Well, this girl, she has a good friend, big friend, strong friend, tall friend. And this tall friend, he also eat the metal. He burn the metal. He
Good.
fly on the metal. He love the metal. But his heart, it is broken because he lost his one love. He lost his one love that one night. You know the one.
So So you're saying that I fall in love with this girl that can also eat metals. I love it. It's a love story, and it's sci-fi or fantasy. I wasn't really paying attention. This is good. We're doing it. It's green-lighted. What's it called? What's it called?
No. Mist Boys?
No.
Mistborns.
No, it's no good. We're going to call it Kissed Born. Born to Kiss. Born Kisses. See, Dom DeLuise loves it. He's crying for joy.
Well, thank you, Dom. I'm glad that you are liking it. I've just wanted so much to work with you again ever since the hit success of Never Look Back, the Jack Reacher story. Thank you so much for letting me do this. By the way, are we going to hire anyone else to be in this movie?
Nope. And scene.
Oh.
Now, Ben, I just realized you did you did an accent, and
Sam, I did transform a little bit,
and we might be getting some angry letters because we did say no more accents. But I guess it was more of a no more fan casting.
It wasn't a real impression. It was a made up one. So it's okay. By the way, Edward Zwick was born in Chicago, so that was a Chicagoan accent. You guys didn't notice it because it was very subtle, but I said the Bears a lot in there, so it was a very Chicagoan accent.
It's from Germantown. Everyone knows there's Germantown right next to Chicago.
From Chicago, Germantown. That's where John Hughes filmed all of his movies, in Germantown. My favorite part of The Breakfast Club is at the end where they say, "A loser, a jock."
Ein Loser, ein Jock. Ein dumb girl.
And I love the song that plays over the credits. How does it go? 99 laugh balloons.
I thought you were just going to do the song but with the German accent. That was much better. Don't you forget about me. Oh, there's no V's in there. Never mind. Yours was better.
There's no W's or V's. Yeah. Sam, this has been an incredible time. It's been a heck of a time to be here with you.
It has.
And to record. I want to thank everyone that's listened. Thank you guys so much. Give us feedback. What do you think about the episode, about the book? What's going on with you guys? I do want to end, Sam, if you don't mind, by just doing it's a last chance for a last dance. Can you do another 5 seconds of that beautiful song?
Yeah, Ben. Let me cue that up. I got you.
Beautiful. And as always, read a book.
Read a book.